Hey everyone.
Hey, welcome back
to another episode of
Gives and Takes.
What are we, how are we feeling about the video angle? I'm nervous that
the video angle is not it.
I think it's, I think it's fine.
Let's roll with it.
Yeah, you know what? This is the day. Hi everyone.
Hey.
We are, I don't know that I could put one word onto the feelings that I'm having at the present moment.
No, after 2 hours of trying to figure shit out, we are speechless.
Truly speechless, but we've got an incredible episode for you today. The good news is we do have some great content for you today. Yeah. Sabrina and I'm just going to get right into it. We got 2 new microphones. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see we've got these cute little desks. These little trays. We had our whole individual mics. They were both working at the same time. So there were small wins in all of this.
Bless.
And over the last day, I've probably spent like 5 hours trying to finagle these microphones. I am not a tech person. I have never claimed to be a tech person. But I watched a lot of YouTube, and we're self-starters. We are
self-starters in the making.
Independent women, and we're figuring it out, but it was like buzzing and making odd noises.
We sounded underwater at one point.
It was picking up like every other word. Yeah. And so, we're just at our wits. We're at our wits' end.
We scrapped the 2 mics and we're back to our OG one. And then we plugged this bitch in, and she's was giving us a little bit of trouble as well.
Quite a bit. Like to the point where it was almost...
Sorry, you have a little bit right there.
Is it blood? I think I bit my lip earlier.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
And
we're leaving it in. Leave that in.
I'm sorry.
No.
I'm the type of person, if you have food in your teeth or if you have a booger in your nose, I can't not tell you because I would want you to tell me. You know what I mean?
I appreciate that
and
so
now
much.
it's gone.
Is it gone?
And we're good.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, do you bite your lip when you're nervous?
Actually, so my lips have been super dry. I am currently on medication for, here's an update to all of our listeners. I'm currently on steroids for my gut health stuff. Yeah. And it has just made me like dry up everywhere like the Sahara. Like I have one of those big CeraVe like jars of lotion, and I've just been slathering. I've put on probably 100 layers of chapstick in the last like 5 days, and for whatever reason like my lips were like flaking. Oh no. And I'm a picker. I hate to admit, but I am I had a big piece of like skin on the lip, and I'm like, well, that just won't do, and so I ripped it off.
You have to though.
Oh, it's driving me. So now
here we are.
Here we are. Sabrina and I also looked up to see if it was a full moon tonight or like what, because it couldn't be us.
So true. It's like, what outside of ourselves
is
what star alignment?
What planet is fucking us over right now?
Who's in retrograde?
Right. Who's doing this? Somebody cast a spell.
Yeah.
And it was one of you, little mother effers, and we'd like you to remove the curse, please.
Please remove the curse, because we've been really working hard here.
I'm like fully breaking a sweat.
Yeah.
So, welcome. Welcome, everyone.
Welcome to the jungle. Isn't that a song?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Well,
we're gonna have to play it.
Shithole.
Yeah. Oh, we're here though. We're doing it.
We're here.
Fuck,
honestly, I'm proud of us.
Me too.
But totally owning our shit. We've never done this before, and we don't know what we're fucking doing. Well, actually, that's not the truth. We have been doing this for like 25 weeks.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That is pretty good. But like in the general tech world, no. Please hire someone else.
I feel like after all of this, I could get paid to do this shit. You know, like I feel like I have a very good grasp on it. Our issue lies with, and I will not name drop them because maybe they'll turn this around, but the customer service has been terrible. All of their picture, I feel like have you ever bought anything from IKEA?
Yeah.
And it's just the picture. There's no words. And it's just like, am I really playing fucking Pictionary with building a bed right now?
And the arrows are so like vague, and it's like, what are you really pointing to?
And why do the people always look so happy? I swear to God, like it's because they know they're like ha ha ha, like just imagining people trying to put this shit together.
Exactly.
And that's how I feel about this new interface and podcast setup that we got. It just, I feel like the makers of it, for what they're charging for it, are just like, you know, just devious little shits.
Yeah. They're having a laugh.
Yeah, they're having a laugh. If they don't correct this, that is.
Yeah.
And so you better freaking correct this. Oh my God.
You better freaking make it right.
I'm the kind of bitch that'll show up at HQ. Like I will.
Let's roll.
I'll show up at a P.O. box.
Yeah.
And wait for you to arrive.
You're in the P.O. box. Right. You open it and you're like,
I will
jump out.
I will buy an apartment. I will live next to the P.O. box. I will stake it out until I find some, because it's just mayhem.
It is.
So, how is it so far though with the...
This mic is rolling so good.
Okay.
She's our OG. She's good.
She's a good one. But even she was a little bit...
She was finicky.
I think she was jealous. I think
that's what we came to the conclusion. We're like, she's mad at us.
She was pissed. She was crackling at us too. That's never happened.
Yeah.
So, that's where we're at. That's where January 17th, when we are recording this, has gotten us today. Mm-hmm. How are all of you?
Yeah.
You know, how is everybody else feeling? The TikTok ban, this is nuts.
Oh my gosh.
Everything, the current event stuff that's going on. We've got an inauguration coming up that feels like a fever dream. I mean, it feels like, regardless of like the president-elect or any of that, the political stuff kind of aside, the show in which like this inauguration is, and my company is we're doing MLK Day, and from what I understand, like they have done it some years they haven't, but I feel like this year with the inauguration on the same day, they're doing I don't know, it's like everybody has this day off. It's just there's a lot of weird buildup. I think it's weird that the inauguration and TikTok are happening the same day.
Yeah.
There's something in the air.
There is.
Don't you feel?
Yeah.
It's quite unsettling. And the fires, it's unsettling.
Everything. Yeah.
It's
so sad.
Yeah, it's something fishy is amiss. But what's not fishy is us and our consistency and our dedication to all of y'all. Mm-hmm. We're not going anywhere. We will continue to sit here and use our voice and chat about all the crazy things happening.
Yeah.
And hopefully bring a laugh. Hopefully bring a little bit of comfort.
A little joy with a sprinkle of chaos. I feel like that's what we're here for. We're here to bring community and to help people and to guide people and to be there with you in the trenches, because we have been there.
Yeah.
And we've been there when people have been showing us red flags, and we know what to look out for now. We know the red flags. We know the yellow flags. We know the ombre flags.
Oh.
Yeah.
The gradient flags.
Yeah. The rainbow flags.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
From black to white.
Yeah, that's right.
Every color in between. And we're here to be talking about red flags today, baby.
Wah, 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 wah. We didn't have our side. No, that's just for our hypotheticals. Yeah. But we do need a button for...
We should have like a few.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. One quick thing before we get into red flags, which I'm super excited to chat about. It's definitely something like societally we all talk about, like red flags now. Yeah. I'm just excited to dive all into the world of what that means. But before we do that, Sabrina and I, when we were testing out the other mics, one last thing I wanted to chat about was we may post this, and I think it could be funny.
Yeah, we should.
We recorded ourselves. There's a button on our new interface, our mixer, where you can click a button, and it's a man with a beard. Or a person with a beard, and our voices, we truly sounded like two dudes.
Yes.
It was so hilarious. Yeah. So maybe we'll post like a tiny clip of that on the Insta or something.
We should. Why not?
Yeah, I think that'd be funny.
And then maybe we could do a whole episode of us in those man voices.
And just trip y'all up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then have every one of you take your tots run the other way.
Yeah.
Because it's frightening.
Yeah. Do we want to do any like quick housekeeping, or did you have anything you wanted to share? Do we want to jump in?
Let's dive in.
Okay.
Let's do it.
It's that time. We have been doing this and trying to do this setup for almost 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we're ready to crack into it.
Should I start?
I'd love it if you did.
Okay. All right. I think that this is the one that I want.
Okay.
Okay. So this one is, yeah, this is it. So this is from True Off My Chest subreddit. This is titled, Love Bombing Was the Tell. I, 33 female, have been with my husband, 41 male, for a decade. I admit I should have left years ago with the way he treated me. Offhand sexist jokes, in quotes, telling me I had to do whatever he said because he has a penis, ogling, or is it ogling or oogling? It's probably ogling at every woman.
I think I say oogling.
Yeah, but it's one O. But it's oogling.
But like oogling sounds right. Like your eyes are oogling.
Yeah. Ooga booga. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooga booga. Yes.
Okay. Oogling every woman he sees openly in front of me. Negative comments about me. There's a ton more, but basically every red flag that you've ever heard. He's never hit me, but we've had plenty of screaming fights where I beg for basically decency, and he tells me I'm overreacting. And then this is where it's sad. She's like, I know, I'm stupid. I have a low self-esteem when we met, and he dug a hole in the ground and put it down there. Haven't seen it in years. So it's just, I know, it's really sad. But for the last year or so, he's been a different person. All the nasty jokes are gone. All the fights are gone. He's loving and affectionate. He spends time with me without me asking. He apparently decided one day to be an actual husband. I've been so happy. It's been so damn nice. So, tell me why I didn't flinch when I found out that the affair started at the same time that my nice husband showed up. Mm-hmm. Yeah. When he left for work this morning, I packed my things and I left. I'm in a hotel in another city right now and he hasn't even realized yet. I hope she makes him happy. Now I'm gonna start the divorce papers and remove his name from me and start my new life. One where I have value and am appreciated for being me.
Damn.
I know. I start with that.
My mind immediately went to, oh, he's cheating.
I know.
And how fucked up is that? How horrible is that? That people don't just change on a whim. Mm-mm. That is always the telltale sign that something wrong or something facetious is going on.
Yeah.
And did not surprise me one bit. But to be, oh my God. He was probably doing it longer. My hot take is that he was probably cheating for longer, and the people that he was with, maybe the other women that he was with were also just adding stress. So he was just an angry and unsettled person and just angry at the world.
Yeah.
Even his mistresses weren't doing it for him, and then he finds this other woman that is amazing and. Or maybe he came and got a conscience and was like, oh, I really like this other person. And maybe it just made him happier in general, so he was nicer to his wife. Whatever it is, it's disgusting. Yep. It's wrong to belittle your significant other or any other human being in the world. Always comes back, when you point a finger, you got 3 pointing back at you. Yeah. And it had everything to do with probably his insecurities and the way that he felt about himself. Yep. And what I would love to know is how do you get to the point of marrying somebody? I would love to know, was he like that when you dated? Was he like that before you got married? Right. And then you still married the guy? And I'm not sitting here pointing blame or anything like that at the OP, but always a lesson and something to reflect on. Yeah. Maybe. But if he wasn't, then maybe that's when the cheating started and this and that. And this could be a case study for some relationship therapist out there. It's a lot smarter than me.
They probably could dive so deep.
Yeah. It's horrible. I feel terrible for her. I hope she finds some self-worth, and I hope she's in therapy and that She recognizes that love comes from within, and you cannot expect to get the love that you deserve from anybody else but yourself until you love yourself.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It's horrible.
I know. Yeah, and I chose specifically love bombing because I feel like this comes up a lot in red flags and where people don't necessarily realize it at first because it looks surface level and at face value as the opposite thing as a red flag. You meet someone and maybe they're love bombing you initially, and maybe you are swept off your feet and they're giving you gifts and presents and compliments and spending so much time with you, and then nothing, and then they're like ghosting you. So this has happened, not necessarily love bombing, I wouldn't say, but I'd say like a medium sprinkle.
Just a light fallout.
Yeah, just a light.
Not a bomb.
Yeah, but just like exactly. Maybe like a grenade, you know?
Yeah.
But it was because I was pulling away and they could sense that. And then they decided to love sprinkle, grenade me. Yeah. And I didn't really realize what was happening, and it was very confusing to be in it. And it sounds like for this OP, she's been with this man for over a decade. She was with him if she was 33, did she say 33 or 31? She was in her 30s when she was writing the post, but essentially she was in her early 20s when she initially got with him. And early 20s is just, we are just such babies at that age. And I'm not saying that all 20-year-olds are like this, but for me, I had a lot of like learning to do at that stage.
Oh, yeah.
And being swept off of your feet would be really easy at that age. So
everyone gets swept up. Everybody gets swept up in you're no longer a kid, even though you kind of are. You're a lot of times you're on your own for the first time. You're paying your first bills. You are navigating the real world and figuring out what an adult is like. You're having your first relationships and heartbreaks and just getting all of that exposure all at once. You're not supposed to have all of the tools to be in, this is my hot take, you're not supposed to have all of your tools to have your lifelong committed partner at 20 years old. Yeah. Most people are not mentally, emotionally, spiritually in a place to be able to build something, and within themselves, to be able to build something with another person for the rest of their lives. That is, your 20s, your early 20s are to fuck around and find out.
Yes, I love that.
It is to date. It is to date every flavor of every person. It is to like learn things about yourself. It's to go through heartbreak. It's I don't know. But this is not to say, I mean, if you are with your high school sweetheart and you guys are still doing incredible, that's amazing. But I think that you are an exception to the rule. I do. I've also had like the love bombing too, and it was always because something else was going on. Yeah. They were hiding something. They didn't want me to find out about something.
It's a distraction.
It's a distraction, or it's to get you recommitted. You know, it's there's always what I'm trying to say is there's always an ulterior motive. Yeah. I think to love bombing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Than true, pure intentions of actually loving you. If it feels too good to be true with anything in life, it probably is.
Yeah. So I wish the OP the best. I think that her life starts now, and I think that she's just going to spread her wings, and she knows what she has to look out for now, and I hope that she finds that love within herself, just like you were saying. It does take a journey for self-love and the self-discovery phase, and it sounds like she's starting that now. So I really have high hopes for her. Just the fact that she was able to pack up her stuff and move out is absolutely incredible. It is huge. So huge that you noticed that red flag, you aren't gonna buy into his bullshit anymore, and you left. So seriously, so proud of you for that. Yeah.
It sounds like she probably for a long time though too had like one foot out of the door. Yeah. And I am so in the belief that when a woman or an emotionally intelligent person has gone through abuse of any kind in a relationship for an extended period of time, they get to a point where they've got one foot out the door, and then there's that final thing where they decide that they're done, and then it's the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yep.
And I think that's, but absolutely so proud of her for finally, that's her first step in self-love.
Yeah.
I think that she did for herself. Proud of you.
Yes.
Queen.
OP for the win.
All right. Is it me?
It is you.
Okay. Let's see.
We should get an iPad.
We should.
We should be iPad kids.
Okay. Well, these might not be the ones I was thinking of. Let's see.
Oh, you sent it via to me, ChatGPT.
That was for I think.
I have an extra one if you want one.
Okay. I had full stories.
Please hold.
Okay, so this one is more of a question.
Okay.
And then I'll have to try to figure out if I can find another one.
Yep.
Is this a red flag? Somebody is asking for advice.
Okay.
From the Red Flags TA.
All right, we're here for it.
Is it a red flag to not attempt to offer to pay for the date as a woman? So me, myself, I am a female, kind of old-fashioned, and I believe that men should pay for at least the first 5 dates, in my opinion. If it's the same guy, and after a bit, you probably started a small relationship, and then the woman can help to pay, or pay in full. I'm not sure. I want to hear everybody's opinions. What is your opinion on the dynamics of men versus women dating?
Yeah.
Presumably this is a hetero relationship. Yeah. What are your thoughts?
Oh, I honestly don't really know where to start because I've never paid for myself on a first date. So I'll start with that. And I think to me that felt normal. But I also think that whatever you two decide together is normal. Like this, I mean, I think that it is the most common for the man to pay on a first date. But also, there are so many exceptions to the rule. There are so many different types of relationships. There are different people who have different values. I think that if you were to discuss it beforehand, that like open communication is so key. I would just be so like blunt and out there. If this is like an online dating app, just be like, hey, like blame it on the purse. Just be like, hey, just wondering what purse I should bring. Like, should I bring my wallet for this? You know, like, are we gonna split or are you gonna pay? I would 100% just be really blunt with that. I don't know if I agree about like the first 5 dates. It's not a numbers game in my head. It's just whatever flows. Like if you guys are going out to eat every single day or if it's over months or whatever, again, every situation is so different. Personally, now that I'm married, James and I, we split things because I personally like to split things. I love having autonomy on my money. It's my food. It's my bill to pay. I wouldn't have it any other way. But there are times where James will take me out and that's a special date. Like there are Valentine's days and birthdays and he got me a date night for Christmas. Like that's different. But just being an adult now, I like to pay because I like knowing that I got my own back. That's just a personal thing. So what about you? What do you think?
So I have always, I feel like in my earlier relationships, I was always the one, predominantly, I dated a lot of guys where I was the breadwinner. So I feel like my circumstances just from the get-go were always a little bit different. And that was just kind of like what I was used to.
Yeah.
As I got older and other guys like decided to take me out and things, like it felt so nice to have somebody paying for you. And I did get to a point where I'm never going to date anyone if they, don't pay and this and that. But now that I'm in the relationship that I'm in, we've pretty much split everything since we started dating. And when I say split, I don't mean like the bill comes and we're doing split checks. I just mean, hey, you bought that dinner, like I'm going to buy the next one.
Yes.
And so that's how we've been our entire relationship. Yeah. We don't hold it over one another. Mm-hmm. We don't so there's a right way and a wrong way, I think, of going about it. Mm-hmm. If you want to split it, I think it's just, to your point, having that open dialogue of, hey, I like picking up the check sometimes. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I like to be taken out. Yeah. And just have that conversation. And my kind of rule today is that if I am the one who makes a suggestion to go out to dinner, mm-hmm. the assumption is like I'm going to pay for it because I want to go out.
That's good.
And the person that I'm dating, he's a little bit more of like an introvert. Like he doesn't want to go out as much or have that need to go out and do it as often. Yeah. And so I know that is my personality, and I know that it's like me that wants to go, and I want him to share that with me. So like I'm more than happy to pay for that, pay for those experiences.
Right.
I also think it goes back to like my relationship with money in general. Mm-hmm. I will pay to have the experiences in life that I want. Yeah. And I am an independent woman, and we are independent women. Mm-hmm. I don't need a man to pay for things, but it feels nice when they do.
It does.
Yeah. So I think with the 5-date rule, I think ease up on it a little bit. Yeah. Or if you are going to be so traditional, or if that is kind of your exact number, I think recognizing that that's maybe a little bit either outdated or outside of the norm of how most people in today's dating world are, and just be forthcoming about it. Just say, hey, this is, if you don't want to budge on that, that's also your prerogative. Yeah. Like that's also that's your business. Yeah. But if you're finding that it's harder and harder to get dates, then maybe it's a conversation with yourself or your therapist to say, okay, maybe I could like relax on this a little bit. Right. And maybe I could pick one up if they have bought the last 5.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Also depends on where you're going. Like if you're going to Applebee's 5 times, like, maybe they could pay. Right. But if you want to go out to like steak dinners and go out on the town and you're expecting them to do that 5 times in a row, maybe we rethink.
Yeah. Yeah. Just have an open mind.
Yeah.
Did you want to do a full story now?
You do your next one, and then I'll do the next one.
Perfect. All right. Pulling her up. Okay, I love this one. I'm so excited for your reaction. Okay, this one is also from True Off My Chest. Actually, this is just off my chest. So we have, my husband just put all of my makeup in resin, and I'm seriously contemplating divorce. Here we go.
Like epoxy?
Yes. Yes. Okay. I honestly don't know where to start. I, female, 27, work full-time as a nurse. I'm fairly new, so I'm getting paid just enough to pay for groceries, rent, utilities, etc. My husband also works, but it's part-time at his dad's pool cleaning business, and it's more of a job that he does so he isn't bored around the house. I'm the breadwinner, and I'm completely fine with that. And then in parentheses, this matters, I promise, LOL. I was telling my husband the other day that I wanted to buy a spinning thing from Home Goods or something like that to put my makeup in instead of the makeup bag I've had since I was like 14. So the other day when I was at work, he took it upon himself to get all my makeup and put it in a circled dish and pour resin on it. When I got home, I asked him why he was covering it with a towel, not knowing what it was, and he said it was a handmade version of something I've been wanting. I was super excited as I love homemade gifts more than anything store-bought. Today he showed it to me Today he showed it to me and I was pissed.
Holy shit.
At first, I thought maybe he saved up and bought all the products that I had, but he quickly told me, no, I just put all your makeup in this. I told him not only do now I not have any makeup, which is something I enjoy doing in the mornings or at night before I leave for my shift, but that we can't really afford to buy all new makeup for myself. He said, oh, I didn't really think about that. Sorry. Anyways, and he went off rambling about something else. He literally did not give a flying fuck. He doesn't understand why I'm so mad, even though I explained it like 10 times. That the one thing I look forward to do before work is ruined until I save up enough money to go buy the makeup again. I said the only way he could make it up to me is to save from his job so I can go buy the makeup, and he said that that's dumb and I can live without it. But that isn't the point. I feel bad. I'm so upset about something so materialistic when he just wanted to make me a homemade gift. What do? I'm seriously contemplating divorce. It's more than the makeup.
I get that.
Yeah. Do you understand? Like, you.
Oh my God.
I feel it in my bones.
What?
It's almost time. So it's more than the makeup. It's the audacity to do this and react this way when he's not the only one who has to, when he's not the one who has to go and buy all this stuff again. And then there's a small edit at the bottom. Edit. I see a lot of people wondering why he put it in resin. He basically made me one of those spinny things I wanted, but with my makeup in it. So it's more aesthetic, and then that's in quotes. In his words, it's so sweet, but I'm upset and I don't know what to feel.
What the fuck?
I know.
Okay, so I feel like the OP owes us a picture or something of what the thing was supposed to look like.
Right.
Because how did he get it so fucking wrong?
I know.
So wrong. Like,
so wrong.
Also, so the guy sounds like he's a somewhat handy guy.
Yeah.
He knows what, like, epoxy will do. Like, he knows what resin's it's going to cement it, essentially, in a clear casing to never be used ever again. Versus, like, what was... I have to fucking know what this spinny thing was that she...
I can picture it in my mind. I'm imagining, like, a 3-tier plate.
Yes. Okay.
That spin.
Yeah.
Kind of something similar to that.
Oh, okay. And so, like, maybe he made that, but they're, like, cemented down. Okay.
That's in my head.
That makes so much more sense. I was picturing, like, a circular, almost like tray, and he just put them all in and filled the epoxy on top. So they were, like, under, like, a huge layer of the epoxy.
I think that they are. They're cemented in.
Okay.
She can't use them.
So it's not, but what you were just saying might make a little more sense. If he did, like, a 3-tiered thing, where you can touch, like, the physical makeup. Oh. You just can't pull it out of the thing. Like, maybe right. But you think if she was able to even use it, because, like, pump stuff or stuff that could twist off, you'd still be able to use it. So that's probably not what it was.
Right. It sounds like you cannot use it.
Completely unusable. Yeah. What the fuck?
I know.
Was the product? I have to know where in his mind he looked at that and said, I'm gonna make this and completely not make it at all.
Right.
And not consult with her and ruin all of her makeup. And the biggest glaring red flag to me in all of this is that when she is trying to communicate her emotions about this and communicate the way that what your decision was, how it made her feel,
that's it.
You are shrugging it off and you are essentially dismissing how your actions made her feel, and you're a fucking dick for that.
Yes. That is the biggest red flag.
You're an idiot for doing this fucking DIY in the first place. And then you're going to turn around and also be a dick? Yeah. I'd divorce him too.
Yeah.
Like, hello?
Hello?
Are we having the same conversation for real? I would be so bewildered.
Yeah.
If I came home to something like that, first of all, you're married. This is not a boyfriend too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How does he not know that you doing your makeup and getting ready and things like that is an important day or an important step in your day? How does he not know that? And then taking even one step further, if he does know that, or if he did know that, why would he ever take something of yours that he potentially didn't know you were ever going to be able to use? It just sounds like he wasn't, like, thinking at all. And now he just doesn't care either.
No.
I'm thinking if Austin said he wanted a stand for his controller, for his fucking PS5, and I decided to make him a epoxy box where the fucking controller was just stuck inside of it for the rest. I think that I would come home and all of my shit would be out in the street.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the hell?
Right.
Like that is so wild.
Isn't that insane?
Oh my God, I'd be so pissed. Makeup is so expensive.
It is.
And that's getting into a whole other can of worms, but like
right.
the pink tax and the amounts of money that women pour into on a monthly, bi-monthly basis for makeup because it makes them feel good or whatever the reasons are. It's crazy for you to just do that and think that you were doing the right thing and then double down. That
it is insane.
I fucking hate him. I would be so pissed.
We were laughing about this because we get it.
Yeah.
We understand the fury of, like you said, makeup is expensive. It takes time, effort, research to know exactly what shade of eyebrow pencil, know exactly what mascara works for you, the lip liner, the lip gloss, the foundation color. It is a labor of love. It's something that I love to do. Do you love to
I love doing makeup.
Me too.
Yeah.
I love doing makeup. I love picking it out. I love researching makeups that are also like good for my skin. Mm-hmm. And the other day, I honestly just spent $180 on some new makeup, and that was that was like 5 products. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it truly adds up, and that's neither here nor there. But
I would be
him not understanding why it hurt her. Red flag number 1.
Glaring.
His stupidity, honestly, is literally like fucking back there. Like we don't even care about his fucking stupidity right now, because his inability to connect and empathize with your wife who is hurting. You just ruined all of her shit and she can't use it. And it sounds like she's not going to go out and buy new stuff, and it also sounds like that asshole is not going to go out and buy some new shit. So what the fuck?
Horrible. Oh my God,
Oh my gosh. And relationships are different, and everyone has a different relationship with their partner. But I do think that the foundation is empathy. And if I come home and if I'm really upset about something that seems so small to James, he can get on my level and he can be like, hey, I completely understand. And he can like kind of spin it for me and reframe it and help me to feel better when I need that, and like pull me out of the trenches. Mm-hmm. And that is not at all what this person is doing. That is not even in the slightest. He's not even seeing eye to eye with the OP. Mm-hmm. And that makes me want to rip my hair out. Genuinely.
I also like the background story of the fact that he's like part-time for a pool business. My assumption is that they live somewhere warm where he can be part-time full year, like year round. But like, what if he wasn't? It just, the guy sounds like he doesn't care about much. Yeah. You know, like no ambition, no. And I'm not saying this about people that work part-time. Maybe that's all mentally, maybe that's all he can handle. I'm not sitting here trying to drag him for those necessarily types of life choices, but like to me, that to me in itself is a little bit of a red flag of just kind of that passiveness in taking control of like your life and your future. Is his game plan to work like part-time for the rest of his life? And again, you're right, relationships are different, and maybe they've sorted that out and that works for them in terms of like finances and whatever. But to me, it lacks drive, and it lacks the guy just seems like a total walking red flag. Yeah. And I hope that the sex is at least good, because I would be so out of there. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. I'm thinking about all of the makeup I have downstairs, and if I found it in epoxy, I would set this fucking house on fire. I would set this house. It's so expensive.
It is. It's so expensive.
Oh my god. Horrible. I feel terrible.
Horrible, right?
I hope people in the comments were like, drop your like Cash App and we'll get you new makeup.
I forgot to say this. The top comment is, don't tell him you're looking for a changing table when you'll have a baby.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Well, right. If he's going to do it with small stuff like this. Yeah. how do you build a foundation of like a family with somebody like that who just doesn't get it and is committed to misunderstanding?
Yeah.
He's committed to misunderstanding you.
He's doubling down on that.
Yuck.
He's not taking ownership in the slightest.
Oh my God.
Okay, something else that I did want to mention is this is also a red flag. Him saying that the makeup doesn't matter, him being like, oh, it doesn't matter, like you don't need it. That is taking away her like freedom of choice. Everyone has,
identity.
Yes, everyone has their identity and who they are, who they want to be, who they want to see in the mirror, and he is taking that away. That's disgusting, honestly. And him just disregarding it, that's the thing. He is disregarding her identity and her free will. So it is terrifying.
Yeah. He's undermining the legitimacy of her desires and wants and things that make her who she is. And that's fucking gross.
It is.
Yuck. Okay, ready for this next one?
Good riddance.
Yeah, peace out. Okay, so this one is, am I the asshole for feeling like a terrible person?
Oh, okay.
So I, 22 male, come from a very small island where I lived until I was 18. Growing up, I only ever dated one person who was a classmate and one of my best friends. Since I was 14, I had a crush on him, and when I turned 16, we started kissing and developed romantic feelings for one another. However, since our island is pretty conservative and we have a lot of mutual friends, we never made our feelings public. Instead, we just acted like everything was normal for close friends to behave that way. When I turned 18, I moved to the city for university, but we kept in touch, video calling at least once every week or two.
Aww.
He never left the island, but we meet up every time I go home for holidays or when he visits me in the city once or twice a year. When he stays over, we usually sleep, cuddled up, and sometimes kiss. This has been our, in quotes, normal since we were teenagers. And over the years, we stopped talking about it, so I never really considered it a relationship. This year, I started dating somebody more seriously for the first time. Let's call him Fred, 21 male. Most of my past attempts at dating never really went far because of my busy university schedule and my tendency to come off as emotionally distant. But Fred and I have been seeing each other for about 9 months now, and it's becoming more of a serious relationship. Here's the problem. At the beginning of my relationship with Fred, I kissed my childhood best friend a couple of times when he visited. At the time, I didn't think my relationship with Fred would really turn into anything serious, so I wasn't thinking, or I really didn't feel guilty about it. But now that things are getting serious with Fred, I feel stuck. I know I should probably cut ties with my childhood best friend if I want my relationship with Fred to work, but that feels almost impossible.
Oh.
He's been in my life for nearly 10 years, and he's always been there for me, supporting me and listening to me. The idea of cutting him out completely makes me feel awful. Am I making a huge deal out of nothing? How do I handle this without ruining everything? And am I the asshole for feeling like a terrible person? What are my red flags?
Damn. First of all, I want to live on an island where where there's like 13 people.
Yeah.
And, oh, that's really cute. Just like listening to her childhood, I am curious to see if it's even possible.
I think it is a male.
For her. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that. Oh, 22 male. All right. We gotta cut that. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah, cut that.
Yeah, well, yeah. Honest mistake. Okay. I think that it is going to be incredibly hard for him to cut out someone who's been in your life since you were a child. And it sounds like, oh gosh, it's just so sweet. They're just so sweet together, but also I do think that it's important to tell Fred just like, hey, I had no idea where we were going. I get it off your chest. Not just for you, but just to clarify with Fred and just be like, I've never done this before. Take this as an opportunity to say I've never been in a relationship before, and this is, my first time at university and at Freedom, and I wasn't sure how to navigate being interested in two people at the same time. But if you are diving into a relationship with someone, just lay it all out on the table. What's the worst that could happen, honestly, is that Fred says that's too much for me, even though it didn't sound like they were dating at the time. Were they just kind of like a thing, like flirty? Or were they together?
It sounds like it was it was the beginning of their relationship. So they had just started dating.
So if there was the question like, will you be my boyfriend? And you said yes, that is a line.
Mm-hmm.
That is a line that you unfortunately crossed. I think that you need to come completely clean.
Yeah.
This will eat you alive, and this will make you either stronger for it, stronger together, or you had just learned an incredibly valuable lesson. I think that innocence is a key player here, because it just sounds like you were grown up in such an isolated and sheltered situation that you hadn't navigated relationships before. So I say the red flag is lack of communication, and just put it all out there. Put it all out there.
Yep.
What do you think?
I absolutely agree. And I think one more thing to add about what this could give beyond like the life lesson, for you to get it off your chest. I also think it'll give you clarity with where you stand with your childhood best friend, your feelings together. Mm-hmm. I think that maybe that's something that this OP just never did for themselves, which was defining the relationship with this childhood friend. Mm-hmm. And there's so much to be said about that. When there is like an open-ended question with another person that's just out there in the universe that you are so close with, and that chapter never officially closed, you're always going to wonder, like, what if?
I know.
You're always going to wonder what if. And so you don't want to hold on to that guilt with Fred. If you really care about that person, tell him. Give him the full story, because what it also sounds like to me is that Fred has no idea that childhood friend exists. And if you want to have a real, honest, long-lasting relationship, they got to know these things. They have to know who your best friends are. They have to know everything about you if they're important people to you in your life. Or else that's almost kind of like living a lie in itself, even if you never kissed them. Yeah. You know? Mm-hmm. And so I think just saying, hey, this was my childhood best friend. This was my childhood boyfriend, basically, for most of my life. Mm-hmm. We never defined the relationship. We had just started dating. To your point, I've never dated anybody before. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know what to do. And we kind of it was like business as usual with my childhood crush. You know, we just kind of assumed the position. And I didn't know how to tell you. I understand however you feel, and hear them out in that. If they decide that they don't want to be with you, again, that's a lesson. Your next relationship, if you still haven't defined what that is with your childhood man, partner, friend, crush, do that before you get into another relationship, and draw those boundaries. Create boundaries and stick to them, and have people be in their boxes. Yeah. But don't hide things either. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Isn't that crazy? But to answer their question, their red flags, I think, were naivete. Like, I think that it's not necessarily so much like a red flag as much as it is like an innocence thing. Mm-hmm. Like, you didn't know what you didn't know. Mm-hmm. But now that you do know, and you're taking it to the internet, it is up to you to do something about it.
It is, yeah.
Because if you don't, that is a red flag.
Yeah. Were there any, like, updates or comments, or any, what was the consensus?
There was only one other comment. It looks like somebody else had commented on it, but it got deleted. And the OP responded, yes, with him, maybe I can have a future. With my friend instead. Also, I love him a lot. Can't give me more of that. Sounds like they were drunk. when they
That's a drunk reply.
I don't know what the hell that's supposed to mean. There's also a dinosaur emoji, so we're just gonna scrap that.
So no update.
No, we're all still in the dark. But
Oh gosh, that was a good one. Do you have any more, or should we go rapid fire?
Did you have one more you wanted to do?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do rapid fire.
Okay.
Oops. Okay. So I just wanted to kind of go over what red flags in relationships often look like. I'm just going to like rapid fire go through what it looks like for friendships and what it looks like for relationships. I'm just going to...
That's a good one because we didn't really talk about red flags being in friendships. We really only had stories about relationships, but that's a good point. Like red flags can be your family, they can be your friends, they can be literally your teachers, they can be people around you. Everyone has the ability to show red flags. So that's a really good point that you just brought up.
Absolutely. So in friendships, I'm gonna list off 10 for each. I'm just rapid firing them off. Here are some things to look for in friendships, and then do with it what you will. Look for one-sided effort. If you're always the one reaching out or making plans. Look for 2, lack of support. They downplay your achievements or they don't show interest in your goals. 3, constant negativity. They're always being negative or draining to be around. 4, they can't stop gossiping about other people every time you're together. They're consistently talking about their friends, raising concerns. Jealousy. Number 5, jealousy or competition. They always seem to like want to be in like a competition with you. Number 6, disrespecting your boundaries. This one's huge. If they dismiss or ignore your boundaries, whether they're emotional or physical, red flag. Number 7 is unreliability. If you have friends that frequently cancel plans, flake out, or fail to be there when you need them, this is not the same as like, hey, we said we were going to dinner just for fun, and you know they can't make it. That's different. Everybody deserves a little bit of grace.
Yeah.
If the relationship's worth it. But if you need somebody and they're just consistently not there, red flag.
Right.
Number 8, manipulative behavior. So they guilt trip you. Number 9 is a lack of empathy. They struggle to acknowledge your feelings. Number 10, toxic positivity. This one I think is a really interesting one for me, is when they shut down serious conversations that you're trying to have with them, and they flip it and say, well, why can't you just like be happy? Like, have you tried like just being happy? Or, oh, well, it's not like that bad. Like you could do, you know, and it's, that one probably pisses me off like one of the most. Okay, now in intimate relationships, some red flags to look out for. Number 1, control issues. If they try to control all of your decisions. Number 2, disrespect. They talk down to you or criticize you. Number 3, gaslighting. They make you question your feelings or memories or experiences. Number 4, excessive jealousy. If they become overly jealous. Jealousy is like just so toxic.
It is. So
always.
Toxic.
Number 5, lack of communication. They avoid meaningful conversations. Number 6, inconsistency. This one's really big for me. Kind of like what we were talking about in your in the love bombing example. When they're unpredictable. Number 7 is avoiding accountability. Also huge. They'll never admit to fault, and they always want to direct it to somebody else. They get defensive. Number 8, crossing boundaries. They don't respect your emotional, physical, or personal boundaries. Number 9, excessive criticism. Always criticizing you. Number 10, financial manipulation. I think that one's like really big too. And just for the sake of doing one more is isolation. If they isolate you from your friends or family because they just want you all to themselves to essentially rewire the way that you think. All of those are just huge red flags, and those are just things to like look out for. I think that we have gotten as a society into where we maybe overindulge in some of these ways, and sometimes people do things that we're so quick to be like, well, you're gaslighting me, you know, and I feel like we've gotten a little too far into that in some aspects, but these are just things to be mindful of.
Right.
Not necessarily go and take action on any of these 20 things, but if you recognize or resonated with any of those in your friendships or intimate relationships, something to have pause and reflect on.
Yeah.
Okay, what are your rapid fires? Hopefully yours are funny. Mine were just like educational.
No, that was good.
Yeah.
Yes. I did want to say one thing about the isolation. I had an ex who isolated me from my friends, and there was one time in like 3 years that I went out to a bar and met up with, and it was we went out to dinner. It wasn't even like a bar. We went out to dinner, and this guy who you and I both know, I'll tell you after.
I think I know who the fuck it is.
You could probably.
I know who it is.
You know who it is.
Yeah.
But he made me feel so guilty and so bad. He almost did not let me leave the house. And it was just the constant, you're leaving me, why are you leaving me? And I was gone for maybe 2 hours. I remember getting there and seeing like my friends' faces, and I remember just thinking like, I gotta get out. Like that was one of the things that I'm like, oh my God, I haven't seen these people in years. Like, I have to get out of here. Mm-hmm. So that was huge. And if you're listening to this, and if this sounds remotely close to an experience that you are currently going through, just get out, know that it'll get better, and have friends, reach out to people, and get the fuck out of there. Yeah. I feel like that's something, too, that Ashley and I really are so passionate about, is just, like, being your sounding board, education, and we want you to feel comfortable to, like, turn the podcast on, and I want you guys to take things away from this that will better your life and better yourself, because we have been through a lot. Yeah. So that's another reason that we love to do this, love this podcast, love this topic in general. Like, you and I have lots to talk about with this stuff. But, okay, I do have a few rapid fires. Okay. All right. So, if they've never been single. Oh, yeah. What do you think about that one? Never been, yeah. If they're criticizing your hobbies or passions, like downplaying them. Yeah. Fuck no. Because they're jealous, probably because they don't have any. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Yep, and they're leeching off of you. Mm-hmm. Not financially stable or responsible. So, like, either getting money and immediately spending it, or not having savings, or not even knowing what the fuck to do with money. Yeah. Not good. Mm-hmm. Blaming you for their moods, like if they're in a mood or a funk, and it's like, well, you are doing this, a pattern of short-lived friendships or jobs. If there's a pattern there, then just keep note. I've job hopped quite a bit in my career. I'd like. Oh, you know, I think it's not always a red flag. Yeah, I think it's industry specific and person specific. Yeah. And post-COVID specific. So there are a lot of factors, I think, that 100%. I will just call myself out on that I definitely have. Yeah. I hadn't found my home yet, but I think I'm there. But absolutely, I think it depends. And I think this saying kind of goes along with it. Like, you have to kiss a lot of frogs to know your prince. Yeah. You have to kiss a lot of jobs' asses. Yeah. To know. Or they'll kiss yours. Yes. Either way, someone's ass is getting kissed. Yep. So, and I feel like I know all of your jobs and your positions, but to me, that's not frequent. That's figuring it out. Yeah. I feel like there's definitely a big difference in 1 week here, 1 week there. Oh, like, you don't know what the hell they're doing next. But there's such a difference in my mind. Yeah. Saying, oh, that's just the way I am, for like bad behaviors and shit like that. Being rude to service workers, honestly, that's like number one for me. Me too. Because how you do things in one area of your life is how you do them in a lot of different areas. So if they're showing you that red flag in public to a complete stranger just trying to like make a living, it's disgusting. It is disgusting. Talking down to you in front of others. Ew, these are just so gross. I do have some green flags, though. Do you want to? Let's switch it up. Let's hear some green flags. I really wanted to end on green flags. Yay! Me too. We deserve it. Yeah. Consistent communication. Woo! We love it. Taking accountability. Woo! Sexy as hell. It is. Respecting boundaries by honoring your personal space. Love that. We love it. Supportive of your goals. Mm-hmm. Love that so much. Kindness to others. What? Like, love. Literally anyone, family, strangers, animals. Yeah. This is a big one. Shared humor. Like, if you have the same humor. You have to be able to laugh. It is. Yeah.
cannot imagine that there is a healthy relationship out there where two people don't laugh together.
No.
How are you in a healthy relationship if you can't laugh together?
There's no way.
I feel like there's no way.
Yeah.
That's probably my number one, actually, is shared humor. Like, you have to...
You have to laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why our podcast, we sprinkle in the giggles in here. We have to. And we do have that. We meet on our humor level.
Definitely.
Yeah. Green flags. Making you feel safe is... When your nervous system is regulated around someone, there's literally nothing else like it. It just feels so magical.
So
like
good.
You can just be yourself. Oh, so nice. They're growth oriented. Like they have a growth mindset.
Ambition.
Ambition is so, again, so sexy. Encourages your friendships. That is so amazing. I love that. Shared values, financially responsible. Remembering small details about you is huge.
That'll get me wet. That, like, if I make a mention that, oh, I really like this thing, and then all of a sudden it's at my house, or they took the time to order it, or we're, like, out to dinner, and they know that I really and I go to the bathroom, they order it for me, whatever.
Yeah.
And they take that time to not only, like, hear you in that, but they get it for you. Like, my man has in his notes app, like, a running list of things that I've mentioned. So during, like, birthdays or like, he's got, like, his running list.
So good.
And that's so good.
Yeah.
And it's also okay to, like send, it's okay to, like, send people, like, hey, these are things that I care.
Yeah.
But as long as they're, like, if they're receptive of it and they remember and they care, that is so hot.
So good.
I love it.
So hot. And I'll end on couples therapy. Such a green flag. Or therapy in general.
Yeah.
Such a green flag. When you know that someone is working to better themselves, it's, oh my gosh, I love therapy so much.
Me too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Emotional intelligence.
Yes.
Like, emotional, just overall umbrella of emotional intelligence, emotional availability is so hot.
So hot.
It's maybe not when you're, again, in your early 20s and you're trying to figure out, because that sex is wild. because you're both just, like, crazy and chaotic, like, nightmares. That's fun for a while, but you will not be able to sustain yourselves on that. Like, you need somebody that is emotionally available and responsible and going to be able to have the difficult conversations.
Yes.
Because humor and all of those things are all so great, but relationships are, how are they going to be when things aren't so great, and they have to be able to, within themselves and with you, navigate that. So, therapy's huge.
Therapy's huge.
I loved that.
Yes.
Thank you for tuning into our flag episode.
We are so happy that we were able to share some red flags and green flags with y'all. We do want to end with some hip hip hoorays. What are we calling these?
Small wins. Hip hip hooray! We might have to soundbite that and do that every time.
Yes. Okay, here's one. Do you want to read that one?
I do. So we have, are we saying the names?
Maybe not the names.
Okay.
Yeah.
So somebody said, my newborn is sleeping 6-hour stretches. Oh my God, that is huge. That's
so
huge.
Big. Yes.
Wow. Oh my God, that's
good for you.
Good for, hopefully you're getting better sleep.
Yes.
Oh, that's so exciting.
I hope you are sleeping well.
Yeah.
Because, my sister has a newborn right now, and
it's
I
tough.
know how
it's tough.
Sleep is the only thing that you truly need during this time.
100%.
Sleep and lots of good food, but I hope that you're sleeping so much better.
Yeah.
6 hours, that's good.
That is solid for 6 months.
For real.
Yeah.
Or it just says newborn.
Or newborn.
Yeah.
6 hours,
All right, next one. Hey, Sabrina and Ashley. My small win this week. I went to a yoga class alone for the first time. I was so nervous, but I actually had a great time, and I even nailed crow pose.
Hell yeah.
Baby steps, but I'm proud of myself. Love the pod, you guys. Oh, love the pod. You guys always make my week.
Oh my God. Dude, crow pose? You go to your first yoga class alone and you're showing up the instructor? Like, damn.
You're nailing it too?
You're nailing it.
Please.
Woo! That is fire.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
We love yoga too.
Oh,
God,
yes.
if it doesn't just make you feel like you're a wrung out mom.
Oh, I need to be wrung out now.
I need to go to yoga soon.
I do too. Like, I need to just twist my body a little bit
Yeah.
and like get some emotions
Yeah.
out. You know what I mean?
Please invite us. I mean, unless this is part of like your spiritual journey, or maybe we'd go to a class with you. So whoever wrote that, let us know. I'd love to.
Yeah.
I'd love to hit up a class.
Tap us in.
So proud of you for going on your own. I know that can be such an intimidating thing to do.
Yeah.
But that is a huge that's a big step. That's a big milestone.
Huge.
And hoping that you just left that class like feeling on cloud 9.
And so wrung out.
That's fucking awesome.
Oh, yes.
Cool.
Amazing.
Yay!
Good episode. Okay.
Well, thank you for sharing your hip hip hoorays. Your small wins with us.
Yes.
How cool to interact with you guys like this. And as a quick housekeeping, I think we talked about it last episode. We are still trying to navigate and figure out our in-person like meet and greet, and I'm just getting increasingly more and more excited about that.
Me too.
I'm so excited to meet everyone and again like break the fourth wall and like put faces to the little button.
Pose.
Yeah, to crow pose. Or like put faces to like the number of our followers.
Yes.
Like we can see the data, we can see that people are listening, but we don't necessarily always interact with you guys.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited to like finally meet you all. It'll be so fun.
I can't wait. That'll be so nice. So just keep it on your radars. Just know that it's coming, and we're gonna do all the legwork. So you just get to show up and have fun.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, thank you for tuning in. Thank you also for our fucking being patient with us while we had like a momentary crash out at the beginning of this episode.
I didn't know if we could pull it together.
Oh my god. Well, this Moscow Mule, I've got to tell you, definitely helped.
It's hitting.
It's hitting.
Yeah.
But thank you for being here with us and tuning in.
Thank you.
We love all of you, and
we do.
We hope that you give yourself some grace if you're also witnessing kind of this weird what's going on in the world right now. If you're also feeling some of that like heaviness or that like unsettling feeling, just know that we are so there with you and we're feeling it too. And then we're here for you. Again, interact with us, whatever, but also give yourself some grace.
Yeah. I love that saying. Give yourself grace.
Absolutely.
If that is the one takeaway, please give yourself grace.
Yeah. Because sometimes it is the stars, or sometimes, there are external things going on. Don't get too down on yourself. Everything in life is about ebbs and flows. And I think we're all in a little bit of a ebb.
Yes.
And we're all feeling it. So be gentle to yourselves. Give yourself some grace. And we will see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.